Welcome to this week's First Chapter Fridays. For this week's first chapter, we'll read The Babysitter's Club, Hello Mallory by Anne M. Martin. So sit back, relax, and use your imagination as we read the first chapter of this book. Chapter 1. Spectacles, eyeglasses, bifocals, trifocals. No matter what you call them, glasses are glasses, and I have to wear them. Hello, I'm Mallory Pike. I'm 11. Apart from the glasses, this is the thing you need to know about me. I have 7 younger brothers and sisters. That's right, 7. And 3 of them are triplets. Identical boys. If you think it's easy to blend in when you come from an 8-kid family, wear glasses, and furthermore are the only one you know with a head of curly hair, you're wrong. The triplets are 10 years old. Their names are Adam, Jordan, and Byron. Occasionally they might make me crazy, but mostly they're all right. The good thing about triplets is that they always have each other. Built-in friends. The next kid in my family is Vanessa. Vanessa is 9 and hopes to become a poet. Sometimes she goes around for days on end, speaking in rhyme. Talk about making me crazy. But Vanessa is all right too. And in a lot of ways, we're very much alike. My 8-year-old brother is Nicky. I feel kind of sorry for Nicky because he has trouble making a place for himself in our family. He wants to play with the triplets most of the time, since they're boys. But the triplets think Nicky is a baby. That leaves Nicky with us girls. And Nicky is going through this phase where he hates girls. Margot is 7. She's going through a bossy phase. Even though she's almost the youngest in the family, she bosses everyone and everything, even my parents, her dolls, and Pow, this dog that lives down the street. It's always, do this and do that. Mostly, we ignore her. We ignore the bossiness, not Margot herself. Last in our family is Claire. Claire is 5. I guess being the baby in a big family isn't always easy. But you'd think she wouldn't exactly need to draw attention to herself. That's just what Claire does, though, by being extremely silly. Over the summer, she started calling our parents Moosie and Daggles instead of Mommy and Daddy. And she attaches Silly Billy Goo Goo to people's names. Like, if she wants a drink, she'll say, "Can I have some juice, Mallory, Silly Billy Goo Goo?" Sometimes she'll add, "Please, please, with a cherry on top." It's annoying, but at least she doesn't do it as often as she used to. Besides, Claire is huggable and affectionate, so it's easy to overlook the Silly Billy Goo Goo stuff. Then there are my parents. My mom doesn't have a job. A job outside of the house, like being a doctor or an insurance salesperson or something. She says us kids are her job, and that with 8 of us, it's a big job. My dad is a lawyer, but not the kind you see on TV, making wild speeches in a crowded courtroom. He's what's called a corporate lawyer. He's the lawyer for a big company in Stamford, Connecticut. We live in Stony Brook, Connecticut, which isn't far away. Mostly, he sits at a desk or attends meetings. Once in a while, though, he goes to court. But I bet he doesn't make speeches. I think he just stands up a lot and says, "Objection," and things like that. Every single one of us Pikes, even my parents, has dark brown hair. Mom calls it chestnut brown to make it seem less ordinary, and blue eyes. Nikki and Vanessa and I wear glasses all the time, not just for reading, unfortunately. But as I mentioned earlier, I am the only one with curly hair. I'm also the only one with freckles across my nose. I really stick out. If only Mom would let me get contacts. But she won't. Not until I'm 15. And she won't let me get my ears pierced until I'm 13. Being 11 is a real trial. I will admit one thing, though. No matter what age you are, being the oldest of 8 kids sure teaches you responsibility. It taught me a lot about babysitting. I love sitting, even though I haven't done much of it on my own yet. But guess what? These girls I know asked me if I'd be interested in joining their babysitting club. And they're not just any girls. They're older girls. No kidding. There are 4 of them, and they live in my neighborhood. Well, most of them do. Their names are Christy Thomas, Claudia Kishie, Mary Ann Spire, and Dawn Schaefer. They used to have a 5th member, Stacy McGill, but she moved away. That's why the girls need me to take Stacy's place. The way they know me is that they sit for our family all the time. Although lately, instead of being sat for, I've helped with the sitting. And as I said, I know a lot about kids. I'm so flattered that the girls want me to join their club. But I'm nervous too. What if they decide I'm not good enough or grown up enough or something? Oh, well, I'll know on Monday. That's when I go to my first club meeting. Right now, it's Saturday. 2 days to wait. But I've got plenty to do. I'm reading 3 books. Dr. Dolittle, The Incredible Journey, and this really funny one called Freaky Friday. I love to read, and I don't believe that you have to finish one book before you start another. I like to write too. I keep journals, and I write stories and stories. Sometimes I illustrate them. But this afternoon, I have to babysit. In fact, I better go downstairs now. Dad is taking the triplets to the barber for haircuts, and Mom is taking Margot and Vanessa shopping for sneakers. That leaves me in charge of Nikki and Claire. I guess I'm lucky that my parents pay me for taking care of my own brothers and sisters. It was time to hide my journal. Not easy, since I share a room with Vanessa. I put the book in its usual spot under my mattress. I bet Vanessa knows where I keep it. Then I ran down the stairs. "Oh, there you are, honey," said Mom. Good, your father and I are just about to leave. Nicky's in the backyard with Buddy Barrett. You know where we'll be, right? At Mr. Gates's and at Bel Air's, I replied. Mr. Gate is the barber. Bel Air's is a department store. Right, said Mom. Moosey, silly Billy Goo Goo, I want my shoes too, whined an unhappy voice. It was Claire. She was slogging up the stairs from the rec room, looking dismal. My mother turned around and took Claire's chin in her hand. You don't need sneakers, sweetie, she said. When you've outgrown your red ones, then you can have a pair of new ones. Not fair, grumbled Claire, heading back down the stairs. Silly Billy Goo Goo. Don't worry, Mom, I said. I can handle her. And I could. Dad drove off with the triplets, Mom drove off with my sisters, and I took Claire into the backyard with a bottle of soap bubbles. Claire blew bubbles and forgot about shoes, and Nicky played volleyball with his friend Buddy. Buddy is Pal, the dog's owner, and forgot about us girls, which seemed to be a perfect arrangement for everyone. Foo-foo, went Claire, making bubbles steam past the plastic wand. Look, Mallory, silly Billy Goo Goo. Slam, slam, went the volleyball as the boys pounded it back and forth over the net. They weren't fooling around. Their game was serious. The boys were still playing when my father came back with the triplets. The car pulled into a stop in the driveway. The doors opened slowly. Claire and I looked on with interest. My brothers hate getting their hair cut. You look like a nerd, said Adam, punching Jordan on the arm and laughing. Me? You're looking in a mirror, retorted Jordan. You look just the same, only worse. The boys tried to sneak into the house without being noticed, but Buddy caught sight of them and let out a howl of laughter. Ha 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 ha! The volleyball game didn't stop, though. Pay attention, Buddy, Nicky yelled. He slammed the ball over the net. Since Buddy was laughing at the triplets, he wasn't really ready, but he managed to return the ball. Oof, he groaned. There you are, you show off. I hit it any. Ow, 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 ow. Now Nicky wasn't ready. He hadn't expected Buddy to return his shot, and he caught sight of the triplets with their haircuts. The ball had sailed over the net, fast and hard. It whammed into Nicky's outstretched hand and smashed his fingers. Ow! He cried again. My hand! Nicky sounded terrified. Dad, my brothers, Claire, and I all ran to him. Ow! Ow! Nicky continued to shriek. He doubled over, clutching his hand to his stomach. Let me see, Nico, said my father, easing Nicky's hand toward him. We all stared. Nicky's pointer finger was sticking out from his hand at a strange angle. Oh, no, I said. Broken, Dad said briskly. Buddy burst into tears. I'm sorry, Nicky, I'm sorry, he kept saying. Mom drove up just then. She saw the crowd in our yard, rushed over to us, along with Margot and Vanessa, took one look at Nicky's finger, and said, Emergency room! Mallory, you're in charge. My brothers and sisters and I just stood in the yard with our mouths open while Mom and Dad carried Nikki to the station wagon and backed down the driveway. The only one making any noise was Buddy, who was still crying. I remembered Mom's words, Mallory, you're in charge, and decided I better act like it. First, I calmed down Buddy and sent him home. Then I told the others to go inside and that I would fix them a snack. When things were under control, I sank into a chair in the living room for a few minutes. Wouldn't the girls in the Babysitters Club be proud of me? I thought. I was taking care of 6 of my brothers and sisters all by myself. None of the other girls had ever done that, since Mom insists on 2 sitters if more than 5 kids need to be taken care of. 2 hours later, Nikki returned. Look, he said, marching proudly into the kitchen, Mom and Dad at his heels. What's that? Asked Claire, peering at his hand. A cast. My finger was broken in 2 places. They took x-rays. He was very brave, said Mom. Nicky's cast was a complicated thing covering most of his finger and hand, and positioning the finger in a way that looked pretty uncomfortable. But Nicky didn't mind. He was waiting for Monday so he could show off his injury in school. And I was waiting for Monday so I could brag to the girls in the Babysitters Club about my unexpected job. That's all for the first chapter of the Babysitters Club, Hello, Mallory, by Anne M. Martin. Stop into the library to pick up the book to see how the story ends. I hope you join us for next week's First Chapter Friday. See you next time.